Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a Battle for Zendikar draft, where we open something very good, but this pack is a little awkward because this is easily miles ahead of everything else in this pack. But with this gone, the next best card is Tajuru Warcaller, um, which is annoying because it's the same color. After that, we're passing like Cryptic Cruiser, Merc Strider, Sky Spawners, so that should put some people in blue. And since green-blue is not really a thing, I'm just gonna be cool with staying away from that. Tajuru Warcaller, a little worse in green-red, so maybe we look to play Landfall, or green-red Landfall, given what we're passing. But we'll see where we end up. Speaking of green-red Landfall, this card is really good in that deck, as well as Undergrowth Champion. It's just swings for 5 trample, which is very relevant. It's just a hard card to deal with. Painful Truce, really good card. Dampening Pulse, really good card. The only card I could assume they took out of this pack was an Eldrazi Sky Spawner, but even that is not as good as Dampening Pulse or Painful Truce, so I have to question their judgment a little, but I will slam this Grove Rumbler. Alright, so interesting choices in this pack. There's a Resolute Blade Master, which is good if we end up with like a 3-color ally deck. But as I said, we shipped that Tajuru Warcaller, so it's probably not in our best interest to do that. Stonewalker is not as good as Slide Runner in these landfall decks. Swell of Growth is pretty solid. Lantern Scout again works with this red-white ally deck, but we are staying away from that right now. Just going to take this Slide Runner. Decent role player in this deck, so should be a decent pick. Alright, so there's a Retreat to Valakut, which is actually pretty solid in this deck, but there's also an Evolving Wilds. Triggers landfall at instant speed, highly relevant, can get 2 landfall triggers in a turn. We could potentially play a 3rd color. All of this is very good, and Evolving Wilds has to be the pick here. Alright, so there's a Belligerent Whiptail and an Oran Reef Invoker and a Seek the Wilds. Nothing out of color that's exciting enough to take over probably Whiptail. It's a little difficult to answer this, and it's better than Invoker in this deck. Seek the Wilds is not great, and if we want one, we can get one later. I guess the same could be said about the other 2 cards, but I think Whiptail is probably the strongest of the 3 in this deck. So we'll grab that. Huh. It looks like this deck is being played by somebody else, as starting to get cut. Could just be this pack. Here we could take a Plummet for our sideboard, or a Vestige. Don't love Vestige in this deck, but I don't hate it either. I'm going to be an optimist and take Plummet here. So if our deck works out the way we want it to, we wouldn't play Vestige, and we would like to have a Plummet. Here we could take a Giant Mantis. Great way to handle all these flyers in the format. Could also consider Kozilek Sentinel, I guess, or maybe Demon's Grasp. This isn't really the 2-drop I want, though. This isn't really the 4-drop I want. I'm going to take Kozilek Sentinel. Though ideally I'm not going to play it. Here I could take an ally encampment in case we end up with an ally theme. Green-red is not out of the question for playing an ally theme. And this card is, and we already have an Evolving Wild, so this card just solidifies us to be able to play whatever color allies we want. Right, so 2 landfall triggers is pretty good. Searching out other colors of mana is really good too. Boiling Earth is pretty decent, but I'm definitely just going to take this Blighted Woodland. Well, Ally Encampment allows us to play Cliffside Lookout, so it's probably okay. It's the best pick here, so here we could take a Swell of Growth or an Earthen Arms. I'm going to grab the Swell of Growth. Triggering landfall instant speed and putting a land into play is pretty good. Okay, all that stuff I said about our deck being hated out is probably not true. Retreat to Valakut wields, as well as these 2 cards that I would have been okay wheeling, but Retreat to Valakut is great, so we'll take that. I'll take the good card, the foil, and the regular card. Alright, on to pack 2. Wasn't the greatest pack 1, but it wasn't a terrible pack 1. Landfall guy, anywhere. There's an Evolving Wilds. There's a Prism Array, which could actually end up not being terrible. With Evolving Wilds Blighted Woodland, if we play 5 colors, we can scry 3 and potentially tap 5 guys off that Prism Array. But it's going to wheel, so for now we're taking Evolving Wilds over to Tajuru Stalwart. Here we could take a Jati Offshoot, or I don't know, Brutal Expulsion's a powerful card, but it's a little off from what I want to be doing. Eyeless Watcher, not amazing. Silent Skimmer is good, but I think it's got to be Jati Offshoot. This card is really good with the 4/5 that gains flying whenever you gain life too, so we could potentially look to pick that up. That card is also an ally, so there's some decent things going on here. Alright, so again, no landfall guys, but there's an Infuse with the Elements. 2 Evolving Wilds, Ally Encampment, Blighted Woodland pretty much say I can play 4 colors. And if you get this off with 4 colors, it's really, really good. Yeah, that's the pick. Okay, we finally see a really good landfall guy. Took a little while, but Valakut Predator is a very solid card, and probably the best role player in this deck at common. Valakut Invoker wouldn't be terrible. One of these black cards maybe, but definitely just going to take the Predator here. Here there's a Snapping Gnarlid, another really good role player in this deck. If it were in here, we could take Stonewalker. Probably, yeah. We can snap the Snapping Gnarlid. Makindi Slide Runner. Here's the Night Watch that I was kind of talking about, where we would like it with the offshoot. Just give it flying every time we play a land. But as it stands, I'm going to take the Slide Runner. Better 2-drop in this deck. Plated Crusher is a really good card. The question is it good in this deck? The answer is probably yes. We have Blighted Woodland to ramp us. We have Swallow Growth to ramp us. It's probably better than... Baloth is much cheaper. And with our multiple Evolving Wilds and Blighted Woodland, it could actually just be bigger. Doesn't have trample, but it costs significantly less, so we'll grab that here. Another McKindy Slide Runner is definitely the pick here. Gideon's Approach McKindy Patrol is annoying, but definitely not as good as this. There's still a slight % chance we play this Prism Array, but it's getting less likely. We could consider Sandstone Bridge, just in case we get a Slab Hammer. Yeah, we'll take the Sandstone Bridge. And this is a decent 4-drop. We already have a Plummet in our board. Let's grab the Whiptail. Maybe. Call the Scions. There's a slim chance I want this. We'll keep it in for now. Got this Fertile Thicket. Our lands are so good. Cards I don't want to play, this one and this one. So let's take these out for now, but keep them in a accessible spot. Hoping to see, I don't know, just more landfall guys. Or Dragon Master Outcast. That's pretty good. This is a pretty good Magic card. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, let's slam the bomb and move on. We even technically have ramp to ramp into getting our 6 lands. This might be the best deck for Dragon Master Outcast. And it's one of the best bombs in the format for sure, so looking for more Valka Predators to fill out our curve. Grove Rumblers would be nice, but not necessary. Retreat to Kazandu. Not bad. What else is there in this pack? There's a Blighted Gorge, which I'd be fine with. That's really it. Retreat to Kazandu is easily the pick, though. Still need more 3-drop creatures. Snapping Gnarlids would be nice, but Valka Predator is probably the card I'm most looking for. Yeah, Snapping Gnarlids would be nice. Core Entanglers is not terrible. But yeah, I'm definitely just going to snap these up. This is my second time playing this deck, and I can't help but feel like we're ending up pretty decently off here. This guy again, I really like this guy, but it's just hard to justify in an aggressive landfall deck. Maybe it's Stalwart here. 3 mana, 3/4, fills out our curve. Seems pretty necessary. This card is not bad, but yeah, I'm definitely just going to take the Stalwart here. And Stone Fury is a good Magic card. We're close to not having to play this Cliffside Lookout. We could drop this Ally Encampment and just play basics from other colors. Drana's Emissary. That's a good magic card. With our insanely good mana base, our desire to play 4 colors already with Infuse, and to a lesser extent Tajuru Stalwart, I have to assume Drawn's Emissary is the pick here. It's a great magic card. I don't even mind casting it on 4 or 5. Yep. Feel sorry for the guy who was supposed to get this late. But that's us now, so welcome to the team, Drawn's Emissary. My black-white card in a green-red deck. Here we could take Blighted Gorge, less likely now that we got this Drawn's Emissary. We could take Natural Connection or Beast Color. Kinda like Natural Connection. Ramps us for Dragon Master Outcast, ramps us into our 5-drops, instant speed landfall. These are all things I'm good with. This card's not terrible, for sure. But I think I'm going to go with this Natural Connection. This card is bad, this card is bad, this card are both bad. I'm going to take a Brood Hunter Worm, 4-drop creature. It's not another Grove Rumbler or Worm with tail, but, you know, it is acceptable. Blood Bond Vampire. Really good with Drawn's Emissary, decent with Stonehaven Medic. It's probably just another Natural Connection. Double Black's a little hard on the mana base. Screw this card. Looming Spires. Very good magic card. So we need to make 1 cut. What is not the best card in this deck? Jada Yashu. Looking worse now that we didn't pick up the upside. Let's pass up on losing to this card. It's a real good card. This card is annoying for us to deal with. You know, if someone wants to play that, they can. Alright, on to deck building.